So joining us now is James Litinsky, founder, chairman, and CEO of MP Materials. Jim, it's great to have you back on the show. I'm going to start right there because rare earths, you've been talking about it for a long time. The fact that this was a big issue from trade and supply chain standpoint, from a national security standpoint, that people didn't necessarily realize or understand how dependent we are on China and how close you are to shutting down supply chains if China basically puts up export controls. What does that situation look like now? How quickly can MP fill the void?
Hey, Morgan, great to see you, and thank you. It's nice to be back. That's exactly it. As you know, we've been talking for a number of years since we've been public about the risk, the single point of failure in this supply chain around rare earth magnetics. I think it's fair to say we've been screaming from the rooftops. Unfortunately, what was once theoretical is now actual, right? And I think we did get some pressure alleviated coming out of the trade deal in London. But Morgan, what did we get out of London? What we got was a licensing regime from the Chinese. We got essentially the Chinese government now gets to decide what companies of ours get rare earth magnets. And to get those magnets, there's a pretty detailed licensing regime. So just so the audience understands, what that means is whether it's an auto manufacturer, aerospace, or in our defense supply chain, if you want a rare earth magnet out of China now, you need to submit a detailed application to the Chinese government that includes specs about your product, potentially pictures of your product, and contracts. And so this is, although we don't necessarily have a short-term crisis, this is without a question a long-term industrial crisis for us.
I would imagine China gathers a lot of intel through that licensing process.
Yes.
You've talked about it, that your mission is to restore the full rare earth magnetic supply chain to the U.S. What does it take to do that?
Yeah, so we've been at this for a number of years. As you know, we've invested north of $1 billion since we've been public, and we've basically done it. We mine, refine, and make magnets in the United States of America at MP. And the question now is, how quickly can we scale up this business? And so we think we can meet a lot of American demand. And as you can imagine, it has been a feverish pitch of interest from industry and government on how we accelerate this as quickly as possible. But we have essentially restored this supply chain, but at very small scale. Now we need to just continue to execute at MP to bring as much of this online as we can.
Yeah, I guess the question, Jim, from an investor perspective, there's already quite a bit of excitement around the stock, and there's only so much stuff in the ground and only so quickly that you can get it out. So what is the accelerant potential here, whether it's assistance from the government or from elsewhere that would perhaps bring returns for you faster than otherwise?
It's a great question, John. What we've made clear is given the scale of capital that we've invested in the years that we've committed and the team that we've built, as I said, the conversations, I have never seen it like this. I mean, it is feverish, like I said, from industry and government, and everybody wants us to move faster. But the reality is we obviously are a shareholder-driven company. We need to accelerate this in a way that's attractive for our shareholders. And so what that means is I think you're going to see over time, these things don't happen overnight, but I think you're going to see that our attitude is this: we're going to have transformational evolution at our company via industry and government to make sure that we can build this out quickly. And what that means is just faster refining, more magnet production over time. And a key piece of this that I think people don't fully appreciate as well is the recycling aspect of this. We've made clear that when it comes to recycling, refining is really relevant and matters because you need to be able to send material back to a refinery to properly recycle it. And that, of course, expands capacity in a market. And so right now, there are two places in the world that you can refine at scale. That's in the Chinese sphere of influence and at MP in the United States of America. And so we are a natural national champion. And so the question is how quickly can we build out this ecosystem? And again, we're going to do it in a way that's thoughtful for our shareholders, and these things take time. But I'm really optimistic about our business. I think it's fair to say that this highlights the strategic value of what we have, and so we'll just keep at that.